So we can press the mic.
We're good, Judge.
Good morning. It's February the 8th, 2021. It's 9 o'clock, and our regular Commissioners Court meeting is now in session. First item on the agenda is roll call by our County Clerk, Mary Jane Villalba. Mary Jane, good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
Judge Rathmo,
Present.
Commissioner Mendoza,
Present.
Commissioner Lizondo, Commissioner Solis,
Present.
Commissioner Garza.
Present.
We have a quorum, Judge.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 4, Communications, Commissioners. I know it's been a busy, hectic time for all of us with the pandemic. I think I see our Fire Chief here in the morning. Fire Chief Arriaga. Morning, Judge. I know you've been putting in 12 to 14-hour days trying to secure vaccines.
We've all been trying and doing our best, and I would like to, thank everybody for doing their best, and everybody has a job to do,
Sure.
and everybody's been doing it, and I appreciate everybody helping out. We're all putting our 2 cents in, and, but the only thing I have to report, other than the 200 doses that were,
Was it 250?
Excuse me?
250?
250, yes.
Yes.
No, I mean the 200 that were administered last week.
Okay.
Other than that, we are expecting, I called Dr. Crow's office this morning before I came into court, hoping that, she'd give us some news, and I've had some news. It's not bad news or good news, but they have a meeting as we speak as well, an ops meeting, and I called to see if we can confirm the 400, because they will be sending us 400, but they couldn't confirm that they've received them yet. They have a meeting as we speak, so after Commissioner's Court, I'm gonna call them up again and see, hopefully, we have a
just
time frame.
I guess determination is when they're gonna get
When
here.
they're
I
gonna get
think
here.
the allocation is for 400 from DSHS.
And then 250 from Laredo.
Laredo Health Department. We had to work overtime again, try to get vaccines. In the allotment process, DSHS is I guess, putting most of the weight to the hubs
Yes.
in the state. So I think 75% of all the allocation of vaccines goes to those 80 hubs.
Yes.
And then the remaining 25% is figured around, I think, 8,000 or 9,000 providers. So we're trying in the process of setting up a hub here in our area to help maybe secure more vaccines, but we're still bringing them in. I think.
At a slow and steady pace, Cedar Laredo did tell me, I did go on Friday to go pick them up, because they did tell me to go pick them up. Those 250 are already secured for us, but it was the first time that they did an actual transfer. So they had me there for about 2 hours, and at the end of the day, they sent me back home empty-handed. But they assured me that those vaccines are there for us, 250, and they were gonna finish off with the transfer, all of the information today. So after Commissioner's Court, I will be heading to Laredo to go pick up those 250 and some more PPE. But they did also assure me that this will be on a weekly basis.
Yes.
Whatever they get, they're gonna share with us an X amount of vaccines aside from what Mary will be getting, DSHS will be getting. This will be just an extra allocation that they will be
And that's
sharing.
because we fall under them as a hub?
Yes.
Yes, under the hub. And that's what the judge was mentioning, that he had talked to Elmo, and they're trying to see if they could set up a hub here in Zapata with the gateway in Hebron and Zapata.
So I think that would just, the more doses that can be available for us, I think the better.
Yes.
But Laredo Health Department does service our area,
Mhm.
and they are the hub for our area, so they will be allocating some of their allocations to us, and the surrounding areas, Hebronville, that's in East, I believe,
That's
and
in
Rio
East
Grande
also,
will
yes.
also be getting.
Yeah, they go by the numbers. They receive 5,000 vaccines, and they do their numbers, and we got 250 for this week. And I was supposed to have them already by Friday, so we could start setting up the appointments, but that wasn't the case because of the transfer, and they could not release them to me until the transfer gets approved.
Chief, and I know that several people from Zapata actually went to Laredo,
Yes.
because they did have, that we could call for appointments also in Laredo.
Mhm.
So
That is also,
Several
that
people
is
called me
also,
that they went, so
that
that's
is also
good.
still available for everybody, Laredo, and like I keep on mentioning, I spoke to the judge about it, we don't want the people here to think that we're pushing them out there. That's not the case, the thing is that the vaccines are, since we're a smaller community, we're getting a smaller, allotment every time, but we are getting them on a weekly basis. That's just an option. Laredo and even a lot of people have been going to the South County as well, because the EMC over there reached out, and it's just, those are just options that
I think we
people-
had quite a few of our law enforcement,
Yes.
employees,
Mhm.
chiefs that went to LaSalle.
They went last week, yeah, there was a few, I don't have the exact numbers, but a few did take advantage.
Yeah, all right, sir.
Just for clarification, Judge, all these different vaccines coming from different places, there's only one list, just for public knowledge, there's only one list, through the county for all of these, or are there?
Well,
different ways?
DSHS, the local office on Kenny Street, has a list.
Okay,
And of course, we're, got a list here at the county judge's office, and, I think that as of today, Monica, how many have signed up on that?
We have 2,200 and something.
So there's actually, a waiting list of
Just for
2,200,
clarification, okay.
and a lot of folks from the surrounding areas are also signing up.
Yes, yes, because that's something we cannot turn them down, like the same as the Sound Web County and City of Laredo are taking our people. If somebody calls and they fall under qualifications, we cannot turn them away because of where they reside. If somebody comes, because there is a lot of people calling from Laredo over here,
Right.
because,
San Antonio Mission.
and they're doing that because Laredo is getting a lot, like this last one's 5,000, but for the number of population in Laredo, it's gonna be a long time for their people to get there. So they're reaching out to the smaller community because in essence, it will kind of be faster than Laredo.
Yes.
So we're getting small numbers, but we're getting it done.
I did, speak with the CEO of LMC, and, he has requested an allocation of 500 doses for next week.
Mhm.
And he will try to partner, with the county and see how we can, if he receives them, so they'll have a vaccinating drive here, next week, hopefully.
Hopefully
So,
next week, yes.
there's other providers that are in the area, so hopefully we can keep them coming, and, but if we get the 650, this week, that'll certainly, help a lot of people in our
Yes, it
area.
will. We're hopefully we'll find out by today and confirm so we can start setting up those appointments, but.
And basically, all we're confirming is what day it's gonna be, because we've been doing it on Wednesday. It may be, we might have to do it maybe on Thursday or Friday, but we don't wanna start, calling, folks for their, appointments until we physically have, the vaccines in our possession, so,
Chief, can you elaborate a little bit about the tiers, because I know that I've gotten some calls and some people that are upset because they were under the impression that it was gonna be 65 and older only. And we try to explain to them that it's 65 and older or 18 years of age or older with underlying health conditions. Now, in no particular order, as long as you fall under one of those categories, you do qualify.
Yes.
So we didn't register 65 and over first,
No.
and then 18 and older, it's first come, first served as they register with the judge's
In
office.
the list that the judge's office has, right now, we are still in the process of vaccinating tier 1A and B. 1A will be your healthcare workers, your frontline workers, and your 1B is your 65 and older or 18 and older with underlying conditions. But in other words, if a nurse would call today, there is no divider on where that nurse will be on the 1A and then the 1B, right? As they're coming in, the calls, that's how they're logging them down, and that's how they're getting to you. It's first come, first served basis. But everyone that is getting registered are either 1A or 1AB, which is 65 and older. I did hear that too, that they saw some young gentlemen and women, but they have underlying conditions.
Right.
I do wanna continue, and we thank her so much, the Zapata Primary Care Clinic,
Yes.
for really, stepping forward and helping our community again and again. I think, a lot of the homebound, residents, have been addressed,
Yes, as
vaccinated.
well. They did 2 rounds already, Judge.
Yes, and if there's any that are still, out there, we will, make arrangements to go to your homes and
Yes.
vaccinate you at home. So, and that's, through Ms. Mary Plattner, she's been very, very helpful to our community, so again, we thank her. And we'll continue partner, this is gonna be a long process, sitting in on meetings with the DSHS commissioners. She's, expecting that this vaccination process will likely be going on, through October. through the fall. So this is gonna be a long process. I know it's been taxing on Monica and Roxy, my assistants. They've certainly done an outstanding job, but they do need additional help answering the phone. The volume of calls is incredible. And then there's gonna be follow-up calls and the appointments, so it is a long process, but I wanna thank our staff for really working on it, extra hard on it. I think as far as, I was thinking on the number of cases, people are still testing
Yes.
on,
Yeah, we still have testing, practically every day. The last 2 weeks, we've had testing Monday through Sunday, and this coming week, we will have testing Monday through Sunday. The numbers have been going down a little bit as far as people going to go test, but we still have people testing on a daily
well, that's
basis.
available at the pavilion.
At the pavilion, for the next week, we do have confirmed starting today through Sunday,
Very good.
every day. And that's what I've been scheduling, every week. That's gonna be my schedule for the following week, but I haven't got the call yet. But they asked me what days do we want. I asked for the whole week, 7 days, and then it takes about 3-4 days for them to call me back and approve it. But that's the pace that we've been going through right now, and they've been approving lately that for the last 3 weeks, 7-day testing Monday through Sunday. But we do have that testing available at the pavilion every day.
And that is definitely a good, proactive
Yes.
tool to offer our community because they're able to test and, quarantine if they are positive, and that of course helps control the spread of the
Yes,
virus.
of course.
I don't think every community has a testing that we, with the
Mhm. Nope.
access that we've been fortunate to have. So that's, you know, kudos to you, Chief.
No, I mean, we're doing everything we can,
You know, many communities don't have
No,
the.
they have it, maybe once or twice a week.
Is it warming yet? Yeah, I see a lot of fans, but a little warm this morning.
well, that's all I have to report unless any of you all have any more questions.
Judge and Commissioners, I was telling Danny that I spoke to Dr. Shaili.
Yes.
And he was telling me that Laredo is offering to where you're COVID positive and you don't wanna be with your family at home, that they do have a place where they can stay.
Well,
And
that's
they
important.
pay the 3 meals and the medication. So I'm supposed to meet with him sometime this week. Maybe they can offer to Zapata. Zapata residents can go, but I know it's a way to go to Laredo and stay there for whatever days we have to. So maybe we can try to see if we can get something here.
Yeah,
One of
it's,
the local hotels.
the cases are still here, and unfortunately, you know, we still have COVID-related deaths in our community, and I think unfortunately more may be coming, confirmed this week. I was looking at the data on the number of cases so far, if I can find it. So, Danny had mentioned all the testing that we've done, so we have conducted 15,548 tests so far. And out of those, 1,130 have come back positive, 13,934 have come back negative. We still have 184 tests pending, and 1,374 have recovered. So basically, we may have close to 200 active cases in our
More or less,
community.
Judge, yes.
And unfortunately, we have had 24 deaths, and I think we may have some more confirmed this week. I've heard of some dear friends that may have been COVID-related deaths that have passed away recently. So, yeah, this virus is still with us. We need to continue to take every precaution.
Yes,
I
we
think
do.
the number of positives has slowly started coming down, but hopefully, you know, we just went through the Super Bowl weekend.
I was gonna
Hopefully,
mention that.
the families, you know, took their precautions, and we don't see a spike in the coming week. So, you know, it's that.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that we are expecting a spike. Unfortunately, Laredo, we are as well. Everybody will have an increase. Of course, some less than others, so hopefully ours isn't that high. But, Laredo is expecting a spike, within the next 2 to 3 weeks because of the Super Bowl. So hopefully we do not get a
Hopefully we don't.
big increase in our community, but there is expected a spike in the numbers.
And then it's important for the community to do their part. I mean, we
Yes.
can enact and implement as many restrictions and policies as we can, but if people don't do their part and stay home and try to stay away from large gatherings, you know, those restrictions are pretty much pointless. So it is very important for people to continue to follow the guidelines and continue to take care of themselves and take care of their families.
And those are where the numbers are mostly coming from. Whenever we do get spikes, are from home gatherings. People having their own, and they think it's their own family, so it's safe, and really that's where they're spreading most of the spikes come from the home gatherings, private gatherings. But, we're not saying, I mean, we cannot force you not to have them, but if you do have one, to take the proper measurements. Just because they're your family doesn't mean you have to wear a mask. It's as dangerous as you're going to a restaurant or anywhere else in the public. So you do have to, even if it's for them, to protect them, or they can protect you, but we do encourage everybody to not become complacent with this, because there's been a more sense of normality where people are getting complacent as to it's calming down, and in reality, the numbers are going down.
Slowly, I mean, it's not, we're over the.
But it's still there, we're still there, it's still as dangerous as 3-4 months
I
ago.
don't think we'll see a sense of normalcy till probably maybe next year.
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
sometime in 2022, if anything.
Mhm.
By the time the vaccine rolls out and enough people get vaccinated to where we can, classify herd immunity and all that other stuff the CDC is saying, it's gonna take a while.
It's gonna take a while, we're still looking at a couple of months, maybe even upwards to a year or more. Alrighty, well, that's all I have for you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Chief.
Thank you
for
very much.
everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Other communications, Commissioners, I did receive word from our attorney, Carlos Flores, who has been representing us on the condemnation proceedings with the wall construction, and he did receive he did share a motion with me that said that the Justice Department this past week attached a motion to withdraw its motion for immediate possession without prejudice. So that basically means that our position is better. It looks like there will be no condemnation proceedings on county-owned land in San Ignacio, and certainly no wall construction in our county. So that's a good development. I appreciate Mr. Flores and his firm for helping us out. One other bit of information to share, and this is good news for all the organizations in our county that we're due to receive some payments from the abatement process from the wind farms. A check came in today. So from one of the companies, it's $125,000, and this will be divided as the court had agreed to in the process. So Boys and Girls Club, County Fair, Chambers, I think the museum and the food pantry will all be doing well. Hopefully get some funds, some needed funds for their organization. We're still waiting on the other wind farm to send their payment. So in effect, $50,000 will be coming to those organizations. And I know the County Fair Committee has been reaching out to me because they're really needing those payments as the county fair approaches. And so that certainly be good news for the kids and their project to supplement their project. I know it's been a tough year for everyone, so that's a little bit of good news there. Any other communications?
Yesterday, Judge, we had a food distribution at the county pavilion, and it went very well. I know Sheriff Del Bosque organized it together with the church from Roma, so there's a lot
Church,
of.
yes.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a church in Roma that always sends food, but it's really hard for us to find a trader, and I think, who was it, Sheriff, that helped with the trader?
The Real family, because of the milk and the dairy products, that's what.
So that's good.
Do
I
they
think
have a lot of food, Judge?
we'll take all the help we can get.
And
So
it happened, within a few hours that the church called,
okay.
so we
It
were.
was a last minute thing,
Yes.
Sheriff.
What church is that?
It's the,
Se llama Puerta
Puerta
del
del
Cielo.
Cielo de Cristo de Roma.
Okay, and this is, I'm thinking through the USDA, also,
I'll get all the documentation.
okay, well, I mean, that's fine, I'm glad we were
It's
able to
the
help.
same program that had been going on before, where they were giving the.
Farmers
the
farmers to families.
Farmers to
Okay,
families.
well, that's certainly helpful to the entire community, so thank you, Sheriff, for your help. Any other communication? Now we'll move on to public comment. This section provides the public the opportunity to address the Commissioners Court on any items on the agenda. Members of the public at this time, if not, we'll move on to item number 6, approval of invoices. I believe in the package, Commissioner, we've got invoices from 1/22/21 through 2/4/21 for a total of, if I see, you might need some help.
Motion to approve, Judge, for $852,767.46.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza to approve, seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 7 is approval of treasury report. Mr. Salinas, good morning.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. We went ahead and handed out the treasurer's report Friday in front of you. On page 1, it shows the total investments that I have at Zapata National Bank, which is our depository. And those investments total $8,863,533.61. The catastrophic fund right there has a balance of $3.5 million, which I'd like to point out that we'll probably be using it at the end of the fiscal year. So,
Well, the way things are, I know our revenues are down.
yes, later down in my report, I'm gonna show you the percentages of the money being collected by what you projected that every department was gonna be bringing in. So I'll point that out to the court.
I think one bit of good news is I did receive a call from TDM, the COVID relief fund, which we were already made the expenditures of it, close to $600,000, a little over $600,000. That should be in this week, that reimbursement. And certainly that is money that has already been spent, so it's not new money, but it certainly will help, I would say, replenish the general fund somewhat for the next month. But so that should be coming.
Yeah, no, because we keep mentioning it's coming, yes, but it goes to the general fund. Hoping it comes in this week, because I've got to cover payroll for this week, so it's not, we cannot be making plans that let's go ahead and purchase this, purchase that, extra personnel that we need to hire. So it's very important that the court understands that it's money that's owed to the general fund. We've already done all those expenditures, so we're waiting for the state to reimburse the general fund. So
Right, no, that's
it's
correct.
not extra money that's going to be coming in that we can go ahead and, start thinking, okay, I need this. I know we need a lot of things, but the way things are, it's something that we need to be, concept that we don't have the funds. If you have it in your budget, okay, but that doesn't mean that I have the money to cover, those expenditures, because the way I see things as of today, we may be using that catastrophic amount. That $3 million is going to be gone at the end of this year. So I need to point that out to the court. I know that we did a budget, Judge, and I think that you were considering using $2 million out of the catastrophic.
Well, I think there was a budget shortfall that was approved by the Commissioners Court.
Right.
That was about $500,000 over. It had a $500,000 deficit.
Right.
But that was with the revenue stream coming as proposed.
As proposed.
And the way it looks, we are gonna be severely short on our revenues.
Right.
So that $500,000 might turn into $2.5 million, yes. So, you're correct on that we may have to access, unfortunately, the fund. It depends on how we spend our remaining funds for the remainder of the year. But it certainly, I think, every year I think I make the same pitch during the budget process. Our tax revenues, our property tax revenues for the general fund account for less than 50% of our total expenditure. We rely on our sales tax, on other revenues, and they're not coming in, and mainly due to COVID. So they're not coming in like they normally do. So we're short. I mean, it looks, hopefully we won't be that short, but the way it looks right now, yes, there will be a shortfall of revenues going forward. And Salinas advised me of that, and of course we see the numbers on a monthly basis. I see them, and yes, our tax revenues have been depleted. Basically 4 months into our budget, all the property tax revenues have been used.
We get a deposit from Ms. Mendoza every month, so even though she may send us a check for, you know, $1 million, whatever, but the general fund only gets like maybe 400, 500,000. Cause that gets broken up into, you know, money has to be put away so we can do our fund payments, and so, it's very important that we know, start thinking about our expenditures and realize that we don't have the money.
Okay.
So Pepita and I are very concerned that we look at the numbers and then we look at the projections of when the budget was made, you know, the shortfall, and then we don't see the monies coming in, so that worries us, so.
Well, if this trend continues, we're gonna have to make a lot of hard decisions for the next budget cycle, for sure.
Well, and maybe to finish, this year.
Because we won't have anywhere to pull money from to cover our.
It will not be a good feeling, because emergency expenditures come up, and if we don't have a reserve balance, I don't wanna be there.
Right.
Because I'm certain that it will not be a good feeling not to be able to access your savings account, to make an emergency expenditure. So it is, I mean, we've been dealing with this for 10 years, and we've been able to hold the ship steady, but we're still dealing with it, and COVID just added another factor into the equation for us.
And we were hopeful that Congress would allocate money to county governments as well for their stimulus packages. Is that, as of yet, we haven't received any?
It may be coming by the end of this budget cycle, but as you say, we can't count on it.
It's not like years past where we would say, oh, we need this, we need that, take it from the fund balance. Well, there's no more fund balance. I mean, I show money there, but we're gonna be utilizing it. So from now forward, I think that we have to realize, and it's, I hate to.
Well, it does show, just for the public to know, that it does show $9 million. I mean, we do have a considerable fund balance, but it can go rather quickly.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So,
But of that, free, I think it's 4 to 5 million,
Right.
correct, that is available to
Okay.
use.
And
And
that's
we
why-
used half of it this year.
And that's why I point out the catastrophic debt service that, we started that fund, maybe over 12 years ago.
Yes.
And we never put money in there, just, from the
Yep.
time when we had a lot of, money from the oil and gas. And when we were in New York, they said, you gotta be adding money to this catastrophic for a day like today. So it's grown because of the interest that it's been earning. But that was just a one-time opening, amount that I got, that I've been, trying to conserve as long as possible for,
And I remember those days. I've been here long enough to know that back when we established the catastrophic fund, we had revenues, we had mineral values of $2.5 billion, which would generate about 25 million to our budget.
Right.
Now we're down to 200 million in mineral values that generates 2 million. So we went from 25 million to 2 in 12 years. So that's the adjustments that the county has had to make because of our loss of.
And the demand for services has not.
Yes, but
it's actually increased.
And to I think to our credit, we've been able to
Provide
kind of do the best we can with our limited funds, and that the court has been trying, and yes, all the services are still there, but the demand keeps increasing. Yes.
Yeah, so, following that is just a couple of other pages showing the, investments, which I haven't been in the bank for 90 days. Since I need them, I can pull those CDs and cover our expenditures. But if we turn to page number 5, page number 5 shows our checking accounts, and the one I'm supposed to point out is the general fund to the court. We had a beginning balance at the beginning of the month of $1,339,940. Then we ran deposits of $898,256. We expensed out of there $631,115 with an ending balance of $1,607,000. That's after we reconcile the account at the end of the month. But this morning when we go into the bank and we check, we're down to $1 million.
And then
So-
we just approved a lot of invoices being
Yes,
paid.
and then I have to cover the Friday's payroll. That's why I said when we get that money from the state, that's that's where we're going, every week waiting to see what comes in to cover the expenditures at the bank. So, the others are the interest and sinking, we have a beginning balance of 1,453,999. And these monies here, like I said, what I get from Ms. Mendoza on a monthly basis. We ran a deposit of 140,000 with an ending balance of 1,594,000, but that's gonna be used to pay our bonds, which have due payments in February and in August again. And then the lateral road had a 44,152 balance and an ending balance of 44,162.43. Special road and bridge again, that's 621,337, we deposit 83,000. And then we have an ending balance of 704,383. The waterworks had a beginning balance of 187,957.53. They run deposits for their collections of 450,000, 472.25, and we went in there and pulled out 603,379.40, and I left an ending balance there of $35,050.40. And the following page are just the other checking accounts on page number 6, held under elected officials. And those had a beginning balance of 2,585,487, and they ran deposits of 1,818,484.44. Spent out of their 1,327,137.14, and all those checking accounts had an ending balance of 3,076,834.66.
I mean, I think you will be receiving some, payments, not payments from the tax collector. I see that, there may be some coming. You have I guess almost $2 million in your account, Ms. Mendoza.
Yes, we have a check, Pepita and I looked at the balances this morning, Judge, before I came up here. And out of the check that she already forwarded to my office, there's gonna be like 500 going into the general
500,
fund.
okay. So that'll help this money, yes.
And then there's a breakdown, how much goes into the
course.
sinking and.
Yes.
But, that's why I said, most of our taxes have come in, and then from here forward, that's gonna be.
It's a month to month, we've gone through it year after year, so yes.
Right. And, but, we already got the check from Mrs. Mendoza.
Okay.
And that has to be deposited to the bank.
Okay.
Page number 7, that shows the total checks issued, and, out of the general operating account, those checks total 1,474,832.02. And year to date, we've issued 3,587,362.03. And the following page shows for approval, all the checks, that we issued from all the different accounts, totaling 2,226,801.13. Page number 9 shows our electricity. We went ahead and made the payment in January for $40,572.34, and the water payment was $11,326.07. You have the running total at the bottom. The electricity, $133,571.69, and water, $45,520.93. Page number 10 shows the royalty check that we get directly, a direct deposit from Hillcorp Energy. And up there we've included the budgeted amount for this fiscal year, and we budgeted $49,000 to be collected, and for the month of January, that deposit came in at $5,696.24, and year-to-date, $20,032.43 has been deposited. So year-to-date percentage collected, we're at 41%, so that's what I wanted to.
Yeah, well, I think 49,000 is a pretty reasonable, expectancy of what we're gonna receive. I think we'll still manage the 50,000 close, or very close to it. I mean,
Yes.
we're 20,000, so we'll be okay on that.
Right, so we went ahead and.
I think we might, if we keep the average of 5,000 a month, we'll probably be at 60, instead of 49. So I was conservative on what to expect, on the revenues, but.
Yes, Judge, page 11 shows all zeros across the board. Since we're not renting our facilities, before I used to, include, amounts for the rental of the Sunny Mountain Civic Center, the Balboa and Information Center and the Civic Center, but we're not renting.
That'll probably continue for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, I don't think we budgeted any, any amounts, expected amounts from those,
Not the rentals.
No.
So that's why
I was pretty certain they'd be closed the whole year, so we're not expecting any, I mean, it wasn't in the budget that we were gonna receive any revenue from them.
Page number 12 shows the collections by our county clerk in Fund 10. For the month of January, 6,179.75 were deposited into Fund 15, 2,076.10. Our district clerk, Fund 10, 6,514.30. And into Fund 15, 283. In our ordinance, we run a deposit of 3,000. Those are 3 machines that were installed at the new laundromat. And then the sales tax, 158,963.80. And on the top, I have the budget amount for the county clerk. She's collected 42,000. Into Fund 10, into Fund 15, 14%. And then the district clerk, 58,000 was budgeted. She's at 50%. Into Fund 15, 5,600 was budgeted. She's at 25%. In the arm ordinance, we budgeted 800,000, and we collected 29%. That hopefully those funds come in
July.
in June, July.
Yes.
So we'll hopefully, increase that amount there. The sales tax, we budgeted 2 million, and it was collected 719,478.89. So we're at 36% there.
I think we'll be, the sales tax, I think we'll be good on the collection.
Yes, so, the following page, 13, is our landfill revenue. We budgeted 238,500, just in January, we collected 33,868. So 53% has been collected
They're
so
ahead of
far.
schedule, yes. And I think that, I was talking to Mr. Sines, our environmental director, and he says, those increased numbers are from, I guess, the wind farm activity and he attributed that to some of those 2 wind farms of the waste that they're generating, so it is increasing our revenue.
Yeah, because we noticed after the past 3 months, because if you see like in the 20s.
Yes, and that's what he told me. He said it was due to the increased wind farm activity.
The following is our jail. We budgeted 1,200,000, and we know what the problem we have with the COVID.
I've been speaking with the sheriff, and the sheriff is here, and hopefully those numbers, I think as we get more inmates in. Go ahead, Sheriff.
I have a report from Salinas,
Okay.
and so you all, that way.
And we spoke, and we totally understand why those numbers are not there because of COVID and the way that, I guess the U.S. Marshals wanted to make sure that those inmates are processed.
There's some guidelines that they need to, but can I approach this?
Yes, absolutely.
See, Judge, the females, we've been able to increase it.
Yes.
And, we're in the process of negotiations with the male facilities and Webb County and Hidalgo County based on some upgrades that we need to make.
And I think as those numbers come up, I think we'll have, it would certainly help our budget,
Right.
what we've, because we did, I mean, I think in a normal year, I think the jails were, I think bringing in revenues of close to $2 million a year, and that's what we had been budgeting in prior years. But because of COVID, I cut it in half and was expecting, hopefully, 1.2 million. But, when you see the numbers of only 100,000 for the first 4 months, so that has a lot to do with our budget shortfall, I guess.
Yes. That was one of the departments that we're seeing a big shortfall. So hopefully, things will look better in the near future. We budgeted, like it just said, 1.2 million, but that's a low percentage. Hopefully things will get better.
No pressure, sir.
No problem.
We got it.
Yeah.
No, it's unusual on circumstances, but the sheriff is working at it, hopefully we can feel numbers increase.
Confident the numbers will go up.
The jail telephone, we budgeted $46,520, for the month of January, $1,257.87 was deposited, so we're at 15% there. Jail bond fees, we didn't budget anything, that's why that's blank, so, we collected $870. Jail office fees, we budgeted $4,200, $285 were deposited for January, so we're at 19% there. EMS, we budgeted $700,000, for the month of January, $24,767.52 were deposited, so our EMS department is at 20% right now, so,
It's, the COVID pandemic has had an effect on also on our emergency services because the hospitals are at capacity, so, it's been difficult on those. So the revenues are not there either, so we're running a little bit below normal, with our EMS.
so, right here, also, we have a,
I mean, I guess we're a little over 30% of our budget year in, so I think they can make the 700,000 if possible.
Page 14 shows the JP deposits for January. JP number 1, 15,487.68. JP number 2, 26,834.07. JP number 3, 5,641.23. And JP 4, 7,525.53. On this one, I didn't do any percentages because we didn't have anything budgeted. But JP number 1 is deposited 91,490. JP number 2, 73,239.28. JP 3, 30,183.93. And JP 4 is 30,053.11. And on this.
But so these are budgeted in the road and bridge, they are budgeted.
Okay.
But I can tell the public that they're a lot higher than what I budgeted for because of I guess the association with, is that net data or the contract? we
Yes,
had?
the new contract we went into, that new company.
Yes, because we didn't expect these high numbers.
Yeah, the collections have gone up because of.
The delinquents that are being collected. I do have a
We had a
question.
discussion with Salinas and concerning the
And I
fees.
do have, I am gonna call the representative, because I did notice that I got a bill from the collection agency, where when the company was here, they pointed out that they were gonna do the collections for the JP, tag on at 15%, that's allowed by law, by the state. And I'm getting a bill for the collections of 23%.
So,
that
yes,
have
we,
to check back to them. So I need clarification from the salesman.
Well, it should be on the contract, that we, the
Well,
term,
I don't know what's on the contract, but
the
there was-
percentage that we committed to should be stated in the contract.
And I know that the law says you can collect, you send the county their money, you keep 15%. I don't know why I have to turn around and send you 23% for collecting money.
I think my understanding of it, if somebody had $100 ticket, that was owed to the county would receive $100, and the company, the actual payment from the individual would be $115, which would be 15%. But the way it's happening right now, that $100 ticket, 15% is being deducted from the $100, so we're actually, or 20%, so we're getting $80 instead of $100. So I think we need to straighten that out, and we will look at.
Yes, I will submit that collection report from those attorneys to the salesman, because that was one of my questions. He was here making the presentation, and those monies are not the county's, this percentage goes to the state.
Yeah.
Like all these monies that are collected from fines and fees, there's a breakup. So-
Yeah, not all of it, but a lot of it goes to road and bridge.
Yeah,
Majority of it,
the
yeah.
portion that stays for the county goes to road and bridge.
Yes.
But, most of the
state
fines,
gets their share.
The state gets their share.
Yeah.
So we may be on the end where they're taking our 23% from our portion. Because I have to submit to the state, half of
Well,
those
we
money
need to clarify what the percentage is supposed to be and how they're deducting it from it.
Exactly. So I'll get the salesman to, give me a response to my email when I submit that, and I'll share with the court, or I'll have them come to a presentation, because I know the law, that's what it states. The JP should get, the total amount of the fines and fees, and then they tag on 50% that they keep for collecting that delinquent, offense. So, the following pages, Judge and Commissioners, is just the overtime report for your review, and that's the end of my report.
Motion to approve.
Report is presented.
Motion by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Mendoza, to approve the treasury report as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Item number 8 is approval of checks issued, and we had, from checks issued from 1/22/2021 through 2/4/2021.
Motion to approve
Second.
$952,767.46.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, second by Commissioner Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 9 is tax assessor collectors departmental report. Morning, Ms. Mendoza.
Good morning, Judge,
Morning.
Honorable
Morning.
Commissioners Court. We had a very busy month, January. Our collection was very, very good. General fund, we had a collection of $530,457.6. Interest and savings fund, we had $207,664.28. Farm to market, 99.70. Special road and bridge, 57,126.57 cents. Delinquent attorneys, we paid out 26,369.71. So a total of taxes collected was 821,726.72. Additional fees and other collections, 235 for the alcoholic beverage, tax certificates, $24, hotel motel tax, $4,072.28, voter registration, $60, interest earnings, $67.72. So that was a total of $4,459. So our total was a $26,185.72. We sent a check to the treasurer's office of $799,816.01. Our collection rate is 75.72%. It's 1% more than this time last year at 74.71. And our hotel motel tax, year to date is $20,354.70.
Thank you, Ms. Mendoza. I'm surprised the hotel motel tax is not in there.
Ms. Mendoza, are they paying on time, the hotels? They're not paying?
It's going down, I don't know, I've sent out, the link with the notice.
They're not coming in today?
I mean, 'cause they get busy, I mean,
Yeah,
I've
no,
seen.
it should be higher, dude, but, man, that's what I suspected, that they're not paying on time like they're supposed to, so we may have to have Mr. Figueroa look into that for us.
We'll move on to the action items. We'll deliberate and consider action on item number 10, which to review and consider modifying the current Zapata County cemetery policies and procedures. And we developed something on that?
We're pending to compile that data, Judge.
Okay.
Sure, we'll have something to present to this board for the next meeting. I know we tabled it.
That's all right. I mean, yeah.
I'll work with Mr. Salinas so we can present something to the next meeting.
Yes, Judge and Commissioners, we went ahead and, looked into the amount that is owed, and, we came up with, $220,000 are owed. So,
From lots purchased.
that have been reserved. So I'm,
That's a ridiculous
hopefully
amount.
we can, get the attorney to draft a letter so I can send it out, or just run an ad in the local paper, you know, English and Spanish, and give them 30 days to come in and pay. I mean, that's, 1,466 plots that are owed. People come in and we tell them, you know, we're giving you, 90 days, and it's only $150, so there's no excuse for, this amount to be owed. So, we will refund, if, the 30 days come up, I'll refund the money. I'm not gonna keep anybody's money, but we're gonna recoup those plots. But I need,
Well, then we need to put it back out into circulation,
Yeah.
because here we are buying more land, clearing more land, because we think we're full, and in reality, we're not really.
There's a lot of.
That's a lot of money to have.
Have been reserved.
And so, I mean, that's, what we looked at as a court needed to know how much was owed and how many plots were, outstanding.
You mentioned we're trying to some land, well, the court, we bought a few acres a few years ago, Commissioners, those 3 acres. I noticed that there was a tract of land that was, west or north of those 3 acres that we had purchased. And, the district, the county clerk looked into it, Celica, and found out that the county already owned an additional 7 acres there that were purchased in 1995. So now we have 10 acres.
You were here, Commissioner, I wasn't here.
I don't know, were you here then, Commissioner? No? No, okay, so now we have 10 acres there that, for future expansion, we're gonna clear. I think we need to clear it, and plot it, hire an engineer to plot it, make all the plots and all the I guess the plat, the roads and everything we need, the infrastructure, before we forget that we own them, because, administrations change and we'll have those ready. So we are, I know the road and bridge, Mr. Mendoza is clearing the land there, so that's good. There is an additional, I think, 2 acres that might complete the block. We're looking into, maybe we can acquire it and make it, currently it has an odd shape, but if we acquire those 2 additional acres, it would complete a more uniform block. So, we'll look into that, Commissioners, but so we'll have, land for future expansion, and we'll develop it slowly. And I think Mr. Salinas had a good idea that we develop it, section by section and not scatter everybody all over that new section. So we'll look into see what recommendations you make, Commissioners, with Salinas, and, but I think we're in a better position now, we have more land there to.
Our recommendation is just that we have a lot of families coming in and they say, I wanna buy 3, 5, 10, and you can't buy. We have 90 days, and I think that we should limit it to 2 per person. I mean, if I wanna, my whole family, then let my son, my daughter come in, because, people come in and wanna buy 10. For me and my wife.
Well, it would be fine if they paid for it.
If they paid for it. We wouldn't have.
I think, well, we'll hear your recommendations next meeting and see what we decide on.
We'll get together, Mr. We'll figure out something.
And once we clear it and plot it, we don't wanna make the whole area available. It's gonna be this area, and whoever's there, you're next.
Yeah, it's difficult to maintain, it's a
So that
large.
we can sell this whole.
But based on your report right now, we may not be going to the new area in quite some time, because if we have 1,000-some plots that are unpaid for.
And hopefully
Those
those
are going back to
paid,
stipulations.
we tell them and pretty soon the county's gonna require it, and we notify them. It's not like we're not telling them. So it's not, it's just a matter of, okay, you didn't come pay, here's your money back, and we're gonna put it up for sale.
All right,
But wait for the county attorney to come.
Make a motion to table it.
Motion by Commissioner Garza to table, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion tabled. Item number 11 is to approve the hire of 2 jailers in slot number 26 and 27. Sheriff, good morning, Sheriff.
Morning.
Morning.
These slots are 2 of the slots that were frozen from 5, 6, 7, Judge.
Okay.
And it's to be in compliance with the addition that we bring in more inmates. As I'm in the process of receiving about 52 inmates at the Mel facility, and we're trying to work that out, because we do have 1 positive, an inmate that's positive, and I do have an employee as well.
That's positive.
We followed all protocols and everything, but it's just this virus.
So your current staffing won't cover your 50?
No. It won't right now.
But if the jail's almost empty, Sheriff, no?
No, but as soon as we get those 50 in, I'm working it out with the marshal so we can be compliant to add another 50.
Oh, and then you'll be.
So we can have the 50, Judge, we need those 2 positions.
So in essence, you will be bringing in 100 inmates.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to
50
approve.
to start, and then once the staff is put into effect, an additional 50.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Motion by Commissioner
I'll second the
Garza
motion.
to approve, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you,
Because,
Sheriff.
I'm still waiting on more quotes for the negative pressure cell. That's why I didn't touch
Sure,
base on that.
yes.
So, as soon as I do get some, I'll introduce them to your office.
Okay. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Item number 12 is to transfer Mirta Medina from the Zapata Community Center to the Environmental Department on slot number 6 at $9.18 an hour.
Motion moved.
Transfer will replace Juan A. Garza.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Garza, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, Mr. Garza, I guess you retired a second time.
Mhm.
He served a long time with the county, yes. Item number 13 is to approve round 2 Colonial Construction Fund application to benefit San Ignacio rather than San Ignacio Unit 2 and all actions necessary thereto. Commissioners, this item, speaking with Mr. Esser, and I think the commissioners also been speaking to Mr. Esser. Basically, the original project called for sewer, first-time sewer to a few homes and San Ignacio Viejo, right? Is that what?
That's correct.
And
So we transfer it to a different location?
basically,
No, it's for the same, Mr. Esser said that it was too much money for only for 6
Yes.
residents, so he's gonna try to see if we can get the lift station in San Ignacio and some of the pumps and underground tanks fixed up.
yeah, after speaking with TDA officials, they weren't likely to approve the current application
The way it
because
was
of
currently presented.
the high cost per household of the project. So they're willing to work with us. They wanted us to come up with another alternative plan. And so I know Mr. Gonzalez and Mr. Esser have been working on an alternative plan, and we'll let Mr. Gonzalez present what they come up with.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
This project, like Judge mentioned, it was submitted with the intention of putting in first-time sewer on San Ignacio Viejo number 2. The cost of the project, because of the proximity to San Ignacio, the town, and the sewer plant that's in San Ignacio, it was requiring a force main to be carried about 3 miles, and with a lift station, and there was only about 6 homes that were being serviced. The grant application was for $1 million, and the cost for the beneficiaries is very disproportionate, according to the TDA. So then the idea was to change it to San Ignacio, the town site, where there is, we met with Mr. Trevino and his staff, and we were able to look at some improvements that we needed at the water plant, and some improvements that we needed within their sewer system. Some of the lift stations need some improvements. The water plant, I know that the clarifiers needed to be upgraded. The filters need to be upgraded as well. The filters right now, we're running at about 50% capacity at the plant, but they've been there for a while, so they could do some upgrades. Some years back, we added an additional filter to the San Ignacio plant, and that does catch everything. But we want to upgrade the existing filters because it runs through that other filter really, really quick, and we're having to replace those cells, and they're expensive. They're about $4,000 or $5,000, and that will reduce our maintenance long term. The lift stations, some of the lift stations have maybe 2 pumps, so maybe one's under repair, and maybe have been under repair, multiple times. So then we're looking at kind of what they did here in Townside, where some of the lift stations got upgraded. We're looking at upgrading some of the lift stations. The electrical control panel at the water plant is also needing an upgrade itself. So those are some of the improvements that we're proposing. The community does qualify based on the rules that Mr. Esser has been looking at. So I think it'll be a good deal for
Just
us.
make a motion that we approve, item 13 as presented.
motion by Commissioner Mendoza, second. Solis, by Commissioner Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Yeah, I think that'll, if it's approved, that will be, I guess, helping out maybe 200 homes instead of.
That's what my question. Do you know how many meters actually run through the San Ignacio water plant, Mr. Trevino?
I think it's more than 200.
Like, we have about,
There's like 400 or 500 residents.
yeah, I think we have maybe.
Maybe
instead of
200 meters. I think, the estimate I've had is 200 in my head, I may be wrong, but.
I think it's gonna be higher than that because, it also benefits the Lamideno area.
Yeah.
Because the water plant does produce water for Lamideno as well, they have no plant, so they're relying on the same plant. And, Lamideno is just over 100 meters, and so San Ignacio's got maybe about 200 or a little over.
Okay, so in total maybe 300, 400?
Yeah. so
That's
I
good,
think-
I mean, so, hopefully, PDA will,
Mr.
look
Gonzalez,
favorably.
just as an update, has there been any progress or talks with the Fiesta Shores Water District on that acquisition that we're looking into? I know that it's something that we discussed some time back about eventually acquiring that, operation. Has there been any progress? I know that, they were gonna have to do some things on their end.
They're working. Yeah, there has been some, they're working on some upgrades that, they applied for a grant, they got awarded a grant. The grant went out or the project went out for bid, and then, the bid came in slightly higher, or not slightly, like 22% higher than the cost estimate that was available. So then, there's a request to USDA for those additional funds. So right now, that's what's in process, so that they can get the additional funds to cover. There is an interconnection line between Zapata County Waterworks and Fiesta Shores that's gonna connect both systems together. And there's an upgrade to the sand pipe. There is an additional ground storage tank that will be put at the plant. There are 3 high service pumps new, some upgrades to the existing 2 filters that are at the plant. And there's gonna be a new raw water pump being installed. They do have, problems with the, level of the lake being so low.
Yes.
And the raw water pump got hit by a fisherman, and they tangled up their electrical cable, so it ruined about 180 feet of it.
Wow.
So they're having to request.
The acreage level is
to
so low.
extend that. It is, I had a fisherman take me out to go look at the old bridge. It is extremely dangerous to be out there, but they're making some progress.
And I know there's been some changes to the board leadership. Is it something they're still interested in doing to?
Right now, they're interested in, fulfilling the commitment they have with USDA, getting those, upgrades in place. And if they are considering some other upgrades that are needed. So if they get those upgrades done, then I think that's when they would come.
I'm just asking because I think, the residents would benefit greatly just like coming out to our operation.
Well, the water plant certainly has the capacity to service them, and, I think in the end, it would benefit them. They wouldn't have to be dealing with a separate water plant, with their own system and having the problems they're having right now, so, certainly, I mean, the county could be very capable of bringing them on, so, but they have a separate water district, so it's their decision, and, once it approaches again, we'll try to help them.
We might look at an idea of potentially also doing, like the way we're doing an interconnection between Zapata and Fiesta Shores, also connecting maybe Fiesta Shores, just as an emergency basis with Falcon Rural Water. The distance is not that far. We're just, that's not in place right now, but it's something that I discussed with the water plant manager at Falcon Rural Water. I know that some of the residents sometimes have some issues when there's
Especially the Tepozan area, they don't have water pressure, so.
That's the area, and so if there could be some interconnection that, similar to Zapata's, where there's one-way water going, and you have some meters, so that metered water gets charged, appropriately to the entity that's using. I think that would be something that would,
Well, it'd be similar with what we do with Highway 16 Water District.
Highway 16 Water District, yes, and then, I think Zapata County Waterworks, when they brought in San Ignacio and Lamideno and interconnected, so you have that system already interconnected.
Yes.
And Highway 16 also connected. Now you'll have, Fiesta Shores connected, then you'll just be missing Falcon Rural Water, you'll have the whole county interconnected within itself.
Do you have an idea, just a ballpark number, how many meters Fiesta Shores runs?
600.
600?
They have they have roughly about 600 active, and they have about another 100 inactive. So, total active and inactive about 700, but we usually just go with the 600 that are active.
Very good. Thank you. Any other questions? We did the motion a second, then we vote on it? Robert,
No, you haven't called for the question.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez.
We've got, some streetlights, item number 16, consent items.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Solis to approve streetlights on 2305 Lincoln Street and 151 Trinity. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We've got two executive session items, Commissioner.
I'll make a motion to go to executive session.
Motion by Commissioner Garza to enter into executive session, seconded by Commissioner Solis. The items to be heard is item number 17, is to approve forbearance agreement between Zapata County and Patricio Hernandez, DBA Garbage Collection Company, and cause number 9929 in the 49th District Court. Code section is requested pursuant to Texas Government Code Title 5, Subchapter D, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. And item number 18 is to revisit water accounts under property owner ordinance. And this is requested under Texas Government Code Title 5, Subchapter D, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. We are now in executive session. We still can't turn our mics on, huh?
Yours is working there, those still allowed with
Oh,
with the gavel.
Okay.
Ah, sí.
Well, I'm just hoping they'll sell them to where they don't junkyard or stuff like that.
How come it's, Paquito, how come it's not coming off as steel? I know that you got the training also. So I got the mic on, pero how do you remove it from the steel?
We're gonna
Over there,
do,
you see that?
pero era, ¿qué número era?
It's one.
One.
There it is, thank you.
And then on, it's
Yeah.
my two, ¿verdad?
Yeah, y luego, it's there, and that's it, thank you.
2:30.
Ready, Judge.
Judge, motion to come back into regular session.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza to return to regular session, seconded by Commissioner Garza. For the record, no action was taken in executive session. Item number 14 is to approve forbearance agreement between Zapata County and Patricio Hernandez DDA Grande Garbage Collection Company in cause number 9929 in the 49th District Court.
Motion to approve, Judge,
Okay.
item 14, the forbearance agreement between Zapata County and Patricio Hernandez DBA Grande Garbage Collection.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Judge, I'll make a motion to deny item 15.
15, revisit water accounts under property owner ordinance. Motion to deny.
Second.
Second by Commissioner, motion denied by Commissioner Garza, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. All those in favor say aye.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Garza to adjourn,
And 33.
second by Commissioner Solis. We are now adjourned.
All right.
We'll see you all at 2:30 for the workshop.
Ah, bueno.